Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a lot of vowels. Through a D, I would have eye shade. No D provided. Do any of these tiles help me? The vowels unlikely. How about the N? Not seeing anything through that. So, how to sort the rack out? Definitely too good to change. I can play yeah down here, and I could play just YEH, but I think this rack leave is already vowel heavy, so it's worth the slight score sacrifice to get rid of an additional vowel. Now, can I do better than this? What about a play HAY or HEY? Well, I'm not seeing anything down there, so I'm going with this. Pretty good. That looks close to a bingo. I may not have one. And not too many floaters to consider. Through an L, I would have Relinos. But what about the available floaters? I've got the U of Quiner and the H of yeah. Not seeing anything through the U. But that does look quite a decent set of tiles. How about the H? Not seeing anything. So what else is there to consider? The two letter sets don't look particularly promising. Through an I would have Eloinas. Okay, no new floaters provided. So I just need to satisfy myself that there's nothing through the H. Or possibly the A, because Quiner takes an S. This rack plus an A, not seeing anything. Now this is a tricky rack because it's quite bingo-y, and if I try to preserve its bingo-iness by playing off just a couple of tiles, I'm going to struggle to score. However, I think I can do that with 1 for 29. Tempting to play the L for lone, except it takes front hooks, and it's tempting because L and R have a slight dyssynergy. And the other way of splitting them up would be to play Wanna, but I quite like the R, so I think I will go with this. Or will I? There are a lot of tiles which go in front of 1 and can play across. Gosh. So what about playing loner? Because now an A doesn't go in front of that, a C does, but there are a lot more A's than C's, and ES is a good rack leave. I'm going with this. Great, I draw the first blank, and surely I have a bingo here. I have Semion as a double-double in column 11, making Utes and Re, and I think yeah takes an S, so I have the same in row K, but that would be opening up column 15, so I'd like to do something better than that. I think Isomere is good. That would play in row K. Now, do I have something with the blank as a C for cloner? Well, I think the double-double is going to score more than the triple word square. So Semion for 92. Pretty horrible. Unbalanced. Only one vowel. And G and V are not nice tiles to have on your rack, and certainly not together. The G can be an okay tile, but the V is almost always a bad tile to have. So I lead by 10 despite that 90-point double-double, so my opponent has been scoring well. How to sort the rack out. I could play Griv. Preserving my E. Decent score. Not giving very much away. Can I do better? What about a play beginning with the E of Semion? Any EV words? No, not that I can see. I'm going with Griv. This may not be good. It's not. I think it's Grav and ISO Griv. So let me think again. How about Vril? The rack leave, not too bad, and 22 points, and again not giving very much away. I have merging, but does it play? I've blocked emerging. Does it play in column 12? It doesn't. Semion doesn't take an S for future reference. Wow, I thought for a moment my opponent had provided a place for merging, and he hasn't. ED doesn't take anything after it that I have. So my lead is now just 8 points. What can I do? And I'd certainly like to split up these Gs. Although not essential to play both of them. And I can't do that with the V, which is annoying. And the board is now suddenly looking quite tight. Do I have a play in column 8, beginning with an E? A 6-letter play reaching the triple letter square? I don't think I do. No. So I have Meg, which is not bad. Ring is quite a nice rack leave. This isn't giving too much away, although Meg does take an A. Only 17 points, that's poor. Can I do better? I can't see anything beginning ED, reaching the triple. Now my M can go between A and I. Nothing goes between H and O, so... Wow, I really don't like this play. It just doesn't feel good enough. But I'm just not seeing any alternatives. I suppose I could play Egg and EH. 12 points. Well, Meg is more points. I'm going with this. I could play Meng, keeping Rig, but I think the N helps this rack leave. Okay, so this looks quite interesting. I think I have Styring, and that plays in column 6, making ST. Ed takes an S, but I've blocked that play. So is Styring good? I think it is. Is there something better? Well, there would be if Tirings is good. Tirings for 77. Is this good? Yes, it is. Bang. So, I do scrape into a small lead, but opponent on turn. And plenty of bingo lanes on this board. My rack is unbalanced, but I have a scoring tile in the H. So I note I could play Oo and High for about 30 and an okay-ish rack leave. I wondered for a moment if I had the tiles for toe heroas, and I don't. My oo spot has been taken. ED takes an H. OM takes an A. So I could play Hoa. 19 points, not very much. Can I play parallel to tirings? An O can go after GI, so I could play Who. How many S's have gone? Just one S and one blank to come, so I could play Who in the knowledge that I have an S. How foolish is that? 22 points. I think it's foolish. I don't need to do that. And my opponent has really tightened the board up with this play, and I'd like to keep it that way. Yeah, the board's super tight really. It's column 15. Let me take that back. The board has bingo lanes in column 15 and row M, and that's about it. So what I'm thinking of doing is playing Hoa for 19. And I'm going to do this. That could have been worse. Only slightly vowel heavy now. Can't see a bingo here. With a G, I think I might have geocodes. Now I burnt my A, so I can't add an A to Meg. My opponent can. 25 points for him. He's opened up column 15. And I think I need to take that out in some shape or form. I'm only 48 points ahead. Can I get my C or D on this double letter square? So I could play side, C-I-D-E, but that's creating a good bingo lane in row O. So it'd be nice to do something which doesn't do that, places a less dangerous floater at the bottom. 10 minutes on my clock, 25 tiles in the bag. My opponent playing quite quickly. Not easy to play. So what else can I play? Do I have anything down onto the I? I don't think so. I've got Kuid on my rack. Pid, not good. What about a play down from the G? I'm just considering alternatives. I really don't like this spot. Even if my opponent doesn't have a 9-timer or doesn't have a bingo, he could put a high-scoring tile on this double letter square and score well and be right back in the game. My lead is slender. I do need to take out this spot. And I would like to play off one of my O's. Still 3 O's to come. They're hampering me. Just can't see anything other than side and dice. So side for 30. Horrendous, and that's the real danger of keeping vowel heavy rack leaves. Because there are so many of each vowel in the bag. Wow, yeah, and now opponent takes a 5-point lead and I've got a crappy rack. So, what to do here? Certainly play off a couple of O's. Only one E to come, so I'm not too bothered about the triplicate E. I am bothered by the double O. So I could play OO here, which is encouraging opponent to play in row M, which would take out the bingo lane in row N. Look at this rack leave though, horrendous. 8 minutes on my clock. Can I play off one more vowel somewhere? What about a play L something R, L-O-R? Nope, nothing there. Hayoma is good, I think. I don't have an A. I am behind. Wow, and if I play double O here and my opponent's got a Y, he's just got a 30-point play and suddenly I am seriously behind. How many vowels left? 6 out of 21, not many, so actually that changes things. I could play OE. Less dangerous than putting the O out over this double word square. 15 points, a better score. I'm going with this. Great, I draw the J. A good scoring tile. And just 10 points between us. Row N is the dangerous row, but I can take that out straight away with JOE if it remains available. And it doesn't. Opponent has a fantastic 91-point bingo. And I'm in trouble. Column 15 is available as a bingo lane. But my rack isn't bingo-y, so I think what I need to do is play Joe here for 34. Is there a second bingo lane? Because I'm assuming my opponent is going to take out column 15. Joe is not creating a new bingo lane. Can I play Joe somewhere that it does? Now, Cloner is still good, still available, and there's still a blank out there. So a slight bingo lane in row A for bingos ending in C. It doesn't really help playing Joe above NO because so few bingos end in J, if any. I'm going with Joe. Okay. Nothing down from the R. 3 tiles in the bag. No super hot X spots. No A for Agio to create a lane. Nowhere great for the X. So opponent 40 points in the lead. My mind is going back to the side play. It had tremendous consequences in this game. It will be interesting to see what alternative plays were available. Opponent may have a bingo himself coming down column 15. He's almost certainly got a pretty good rack, especially if he's dodged the V. So, where can I play my X? Really nothing. A complete diagonal coming down here, shutting off the top left of the board, and very little available on the right hand side apart from a bingo lane, which is of more use to my opponent than it is to me. Still 2 tiles in the bag, so I can play Ox for 23. And I think that's pretty much the only way I can get rid of my X. I could play Ox, but that's not a better play. So I'm going with Ox. I can see what my opponent's got. He's does not have a great rack. Certainly not a bingo rack that I can see. And I don't think I have a play down in column 15 beginning with the R. I trail by 34. I think it's going to be a struggle for either of us to score. My O can go in front of NO. But I don't have anything to go in front of OE. I have bio side, but that doesn't get triples. And I can't see anything which does. I do have an S for sticking on the end of EDH. Zowie doesn't take an S. 16 points for my opponent. He leads by 50. And he's set up DVOT in row E. Does he have a second out? Not down from the R, so I guess I need to block this spot. Not easy. So I could play bows for 24. But then DVOT plays from D1, so that's not good. 4 minutes on my clock. So what about playing blip? For 16. Well, my opponent may have something through the R, but I'm not seeing it. Now, do I have an out? Well, I have roses, so I'm going with this. Opponent may have spotted an alternative out. But do I have an alternative to roses? I'm not sure there are any 4-letter plays with this rack. Great, roses remains available. Do I have something better? I don't think so. Or do I? Am I missing something? No, I don't think so. I'm going with this. Roses for 6. And the final score, 418 to me, 456 to my opponent. So a winning margin of 38 points. Well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. So it was my opponent to go first. That looks pretty good. He plays Quiner rather than Quiz. My rack, and I play Yeah for 26. Opponent has Zadig for 54, plays Zit for 35. Now this looked pretty good, but did I have something? No. And I played Loner, and I still like that. Opponent plays Daft, and now I have a choice of bingos, and I go with Semi-On for 92. I could have got one more point with Meiosis. A double-double in row K. Pluralizing, yeah. I didn't consider that. Horrible rack for my opponent with F, U, and W. Plays Zowie. We wait for the examiner. Emerg, H11. Ah, from the E. Quite nice. Not a great rack leave though. So I do Vril for 22 with a much better rack leave. Is Meng 11 points better than LNV? Well, I would say it is close. I'd say it's close. And if it's close, I prefer the better rack leave, so I still like Vril. Wow, look at this. This is a horrendous rack, and my opponent is trailing by 30. He plays Fud. And this is where I play Meg. I could have got 23 at E13. For Mig, because Refi is good, I think that would have been a better play. Yeah, that wouldn't have given very much away. Opponent still struggling. Plays Ver. Wow, keeping 2 U's. Interesting. And I have Tirings. Styring also available K3. That's where I played it. Also playable to make Megs. Opponent plays Gup. And now I have a 50-point lead on a tightish board, just a couple of bingo lanes. G4, Hoagie through the G. I don't like that, setting up new bingo lanes. So I play Hoa, and I still like that, 19 points. Opponent not got a great rack, plays Cowrie, which is good, creating 2 new bingo lanes. And this is the critical point. Opponent has opened column 15, he trails by 48. I'm looking to play in column 15 and not place my E in the bottom right. What could I have done? L1, Cood for 36, opening up a new lane. Yep, and a nice score. Wow, all of the suggestions here are in row L, so I'm not seeing anything in column 15. Please leave a comment below if you can see something which you think is better than side or dice in column 15. Possibly Cood was the play. L1. Then if opponent goes in one spot, I can go in the other, but the danger of the 9 timer is that if opponent gets it, he's so far ahead that I'm not going to come back with a 9 timer of my own, or a triple as they say. So I played side, which was fantastic for my opponent. That was the only bingo. Entrance. I have a horrendous rack. I play OE, and I think that's still okay. And this is a great spot for my opponent. It doesn't look like a great rack, but he has a bingo, and he finds it, notably for 91. And now I trail by a bingo. There's only 6 tiles in the bag, and I have this rack. I played Joe. Opponent has the blank, plays Waney. D14. Ah, boxes and Eds for 38. Okay. Interesting, that would have taken me to within 20 points of my opponent. So I play Ox for 23, which wasn't as good. Opponent could have played Vaticide, played Paddy. And I have no bingo. I played Blip to stop my opponent going out. Opponent could still have gone out. E1, Verd it through the eye. He doesn't spot that. Plays Vibe. And wow, look at this. I played Roses, but Oses is good. And that plays at G14, making Eds, Omas, and OE. So, an interesting game, and the critical move was the play of side, which had enormous consequences. And it's not always the case that games turn on one move, but in this case, in this game, the move of side did turn out to be pivotal in terms of the outcome. So, interesting stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.